Hey guys, here again with another unboxing with another 40K unboxing. I know I got a lot of these up here, but you know what? They're good to do. I like them, and they're fun. And you know, just been trying to fill out some of the armies I have. You know, fill out all the options and just complete the collection, and then start painting on them. So this is a Warhammer 40K Death Guard Plagueburst Crawler. It's one of the new units for 8th edition for the Death Guard army, which is a new full-on army book, codex, whatever you want to call it. They have a full-on army list for the Death Guard in Warhammer 40K, which actually got me back into 40K, to be honest. I used to play Space Wolves initially, then I sold that right away, and then I got into Tyranid like in 2000. I think I was playing the Space Wolves in like the 90s. I got into the Tyranid, and I've been collecting Tyranid ever since. So that's a large army. Hopefully one day I can do a showcase for. But then I got into Chaos, and I really like the Death Guard. Like, I like their lore. I like the history of the characters. You know, the Primarch Mortarion. You know, and everything that they went through during the Horus Heresy and things like that, and after the Horus Heresy. And it was just a really cool character, full army. But they never had like a full-on army. They were just attachments to a regular Chaos undivided army. You know, so you get like a couple boxes of Plague Marines. And back in the day, I believe it was like 7 in a box, and they were pewter. I actually have some of the original Death Guard models, and I really liked them. And then Forge World came out with an upgrade kit, so you could actually take the current plastic Space Marine line, or Chaos Space Marine line, sorry, and then add these Forge World resin bits like torsos, heads, and shoulder pads and things like that. And I was, you know, they're really not that great. I mean, you're just adding a torso, you know, and shoulder pads. But it was something else. It was a little different. It was something a little different. You could have bigger squads of Plague Marines. You know, so I started picking up some of those. Then they made the Death Guard Terminators. Forge World did upgrade kit. Same thing: torsos, heads, and shoulder pads. And you were pretty much stuck with whatever weapons you could get from the Chaos Terminator, Space Marine Terminators. And I kind of put it to the side because, like I said, I was a little disappointed that they didn't have an actual army for themselves. Which, whatever, you know, it was what it was. And then in 6th edition, the Thousand Sons got a codex, or at least a book, like a Traitor Legion book, with some stuff in it, and they, you know, embellished a little bit more on the Thousand Sons, which I like the Thousand Sons as well. And 8th edition comes out, and the Dark Imperium box set, which is a starter set for 40K, had the new Death Guard stuff in it, so it actually got me to the store. I picked up a box set. The models are phenomenal. Definitely going to be a pain in the butt to paint, but it is what it is, right? Like you know, it's labor of love. So like I said, this is one of the units, the new units in the army that's exclusive to the Death Guard. So I have like 3 of these in my army. I've used one in one game. They're not, you know, independently like game stoppers. They're like little Vindicators with a couple extra guns, but they're cool. I really like the look of them. That slug-like, you know, decayed metal look. You know, let's pop this up. I actually bought this on the internet, on eBay, from the same shop I bought some other stuff from. As you can tell, they actually have the pricing on there, $65 US, but I actually got this for $55, free shipping. So, like I said, I always say it pays to shop smart. Look online, compare to your local stores. You know, there's always someone giving some kind of discount. You know, shop smart. You know, you do that as much as possible, because, you know, these models are expensive, and the bigger your army gets, the more expensive it gets. The more you look at it and say, damn, you know, do I really need to spend all that on this army? You know, but like I said, you shop smart, and you won't be too far off. I'm gonna just rip this open here. Trusty Kershaw. we have the back of the box. I'm not sure. It's actually got the paint scale here, so it'll help you. You know, if you want to paint this paint scheme, they've got the colors right here, the different colors for what you want to use them for. I'm not sure if I'm going to go with green and brass. I most likely will. I've always liked the Death Guard in green, but I kind of am getting a little. I like the bone-colored Death Guard armor closer to the original 30K Death Guard. It's just some side art. Same thing. It's a picture of the model. And here, another picture of the model. Let's crack this bad boy open. All the cool plastic we got here. First off, you've got the instruction manual, full color, like all the new stuff from 8th edition and on. Although I'm not sure, I think 7th edition, no, I think 7th edition were black and white, but yeah, it's still really good. I mean, it's actually not full color, but I guess it is because those models come in gray, some plastic, so it's not a big kit, it's not a lot of parts, and you get the option of choosing like the ecto cannons or the plague spewers for the side sponses, and the triple gun or the heavy stubber for the front mounted gun. And then you've got the stats. And then you got the paint chart again. So that's cool. And I like I said, I've actually built 2 of these already. So they're not actual super difficult kits to build. They're actually pretty cool. They go together fairly simply. It's a new mold, so there's very few mold lines on the model when you're actually done. You know, I actually scrape every piece. As soon as I cut it off the sprue, I clean it up right away. It's just me. You know, I score, sand, whatever you need to do to get the mold lines. But they actually placed a lot of the parts where you really don't need to do a lot of the cleaning up of mold lines, except here. One of these parts, these big side piece right here. You'll have to do some scoring up top where the armor plates meet. But that's not too hard to do. It actually meets this part here on the sides. But again, it's not difficult to do. It'll actually get there, you know. So you just clean it up a little bit, and Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. So there's only 2 sprues in this kit. You know, $55 kit. There's only 2 sprues. Honestly, they probably could have done with less. Like, for example, all these little wheels here. Now, I've built tons of tanks. RC tanks, model tanks, 135th, 172nd, whatever scale. I've built a ton of tanks. Some I've built with a ton of wheels. Some I've built where it's just a a section of tread. As a modeler, I'm okay with the wheels. You know, it's a little fun thing to add to it. As a wargamer, I'm not. I'm like, as a wargamer, you could probably just mold this into that plastic there. That's a little bit of unnecessary work. The treads, okay, maybe. Also, I wanted to point out, I noticed this on my first kit. When you build this kit, I'm trying to see if they show it here. I don't know if you can see it, but in there, the treads are pointing so that the claws are facing forward. There's little points on each tread with a little set of claws. Like with real tanks, they would be pointing forward so that when the tank moves, it would dig itself in, give itself more traction. Right? Simple math. In the kit instructions, the parts that they tell you to put on are actually backwards. So if you build it by the kit instructions, these little claws on your tank will be facing backwards. Which means the tread's rolling this way, the claws are supposed to be this way. But if you build it by the instructions, they'll be facing this way, which makes no sense. So, it's going to take a little work, but you could actually reverse the process. You just do your math, you follow your numbers, you reverse the numbers on the different pages, and it'll be done correctly. My first tank is actually built per instructions. The treads are on backwards. If you go by the instructions, the treads are on backwards. I don't know, maybe they fixed it in this box, but the last two, it hasn't been fixed in the instructions. But if you actually reverse the numbers, the treads will be on the right way. You just gotta pay a little more attention when you're putting these together, and it'll actually come out really cool. And you can actually see the treads, what I'm talking about, the little teeth on the treads. Okay, so if you've purchased, somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody makes aftermarket treads for Chaos tanks. You know, because basically when you buy a Chaos tank, you're buying an Imperial tank with some Chaos upgrades shit. Little spiky bits and stuff like that. I get it. A cost-effective kit. You know, you can charge a couple bucks more because it has the extra sprue, but it really wasn't anything that added to the model except the decorations. Someone actually made resin Chaos tank treads that actually had these types of teeth on them, which I think GW must have seen and been like, okay, well, that actually is really cool. It works. It looks really cool. Let's do the same shit. Whatever. I'm not gonna hate. You know, it's not. I've had ideas on stuff. I've built projects. My friends come along and say, man, that would look cooler if you did this. Boom. You know, I followed suit and it worked out. Worked out even better. So it happens. But nonetheless, make sure you read your instructions. And again, if you reverse, you just mirror the numbers and the way the treads actually go on, because they only go on one way, you'll actually get them in the right direction. And I've done this myself. So just a little, not one con, really, I mean, my one big con about this kit. I have others, but that's just me. You know, I'm a picky person when it comes to, you know, $55 models I'm buying. Most of you, anybody who knows tank models or model kits or anything like that, you know you can spend $55 on a Tamiya tank and you're gonna get a way better looking kit. But it's not a game piece. It's not a miniature for a game. So there is that difference. You know, GW charges for the value of the kit on the field rather than the actual value in plastic for this kit. That's just how it is. It is what it is. It's par for course with this type of thing. So, sorry about that. My other con, and this is, I have the same con with damn near every GW vehicle and tank in the game, and that is that they are too small. You put a Plague Marine next to this thing, and he's huge. You know, yes, Plague Marines are a little bit bigger than other Marines because they're bloated and they, you know, they're pouring out of their armor. But, and I understand GW is just making cost-effective decisions. You know, what can we do to get that model out on the table? And I give them credit because they have been creating some of the largest plastic model kits for miniature wargaming in the market. Like, there's not a lot of other people out there making these gigantic kits, like the Knights, you know, the Orc Stompa, you know, or Gorkanaut, or whatever that thing is called, the big hula skirt, dressy, walkie thing that the Orcs have. It's cool, but it's huge. You know, it's model kits like that they're making now, whereas back in my day, there was nothing bigger than maybe a Land Raider, and the Land Raider was goofy looking, you know. And even when they started redoing some of the GW, the Imperial tanks, like Space Marine tanks, they got a little bit bigger, but not by much. I mean, even a Rhino nowadays, there's no way 10 Marines would fit in there, plus 2 drivers. No way. It's not possible. You know, but it is what it is. It represents some numbers on the table. So I mean, if you're going for like complete accuracy, you would probably want build your own. But if you just need something to represent something on the table, there you go. Again, that's my biggest pro or con with any tank from Games Workshop. My only other con is the treads. You know, if you reverse them, do the numbers right, you'll get the treads going the right way, because the instructions are incorrect. That's all. Other than that, this is a fun kit to build. It's really basic, really goes together really well. It's all sturdy too. When you put the pieces together, they stay together really well. So just a little bit of glue here and there, you're good to go. But I mean, I glued the whole thing, but you know what I'm saying. This also in the game does nothing for the tank. At least not that I've seen yet. I don't think dozers do anything for tanks anymore. You know, I could be wrong. Maybe there's something I missed, but not in Chaos anyway. The Plague Marines don't have anything for this at all. Like no extra armor, nothing. But it looks cool. I like the look of it, you know. It's a very cool looking tank, you know. And for the price of a Land Raider, or what a Land Raider used to be, you know, it's not terrible. But that is GW now. You know, your prices are a lot higher. Land Raider's like $75 now. When they first came out, the newer kits, they were like $50 for a Land Raider. You know, some of you young guys are probably like, what? Terminator Squad is $50 now. Yep, they weren't $50 before, but they are now. But it is what it is, you know. You pay to play. So that's my unboxing of the 40K, Warhammer 40K Death Guard Plagueburst Crawler. Thanks for watching.